If I could take the House initially to clauses 41 to 47, well, these seek to amend the Births, Deaths and Marriages Registration Act from back in 1996 to provide for the issue of integrated birth certificates to adopted persons. As somebody who's adopted myself, President, I can note, and I know that the government is sensitive to these issues, that people who are adopted have a wide range of views about questions regarding contact with birth parents and engagement with birth parents. So I think this sort of careful and sensitive approach is a good one.
Words really matter, and the names of birth parents on birth certificates really matter. They give effect to, they create a record of, and they create a mark of validity and of respect and of dignity, which I think has been a long time coming, which I hope will go some way toward alleviating the pain and the distress of having been ignored for too long as parents and as adoptive children, as entire families have been, I think, well, since forced adoptions began.
Between 1958 and 1984, almost 40,000 adoptions were arranged in Victoria. That number is now single figures annually. The Legislative Assembly's Legal and Social Issues Committee conducted an inquiry into responses to historical forced adoption in Victoria, and today we see the first of many reforms, I hope.
Unwed mothers were silenced when it came to speaking out about their hidden pregnancies, their treatment during birth, and the grief after having their children taken away. It is easy to reflect on these times as something we have moved forward from, but there are so many women and children who are still impacted and traumatised by what happened all those years ago, and understandably so. Many people told the committee how difficult it is to have multiple certificates containing different information and how hurtful it is to see their original certificate with a big red cancelled stamp through it.
The commencement date for these changes is set for October 2023. When New South Wales introduced integrated birth certificates, the bill was introduced in August and the new certificates were issued starting in November, barely a 3-month turnaround. The sector has questioned why this provision needs such a long implementation time in Victoria when New South Wales was able to implement this within months.
The bill will allow the Registrar of Births, Deaths and Marriages to issue a post-adoption birth certificate that includes the details of the natural parents and adoptive parents and can be used as a legally valid proof of identity, and the IBC will be available on application by an adopted person who is 18 years or older at their option.
It also amends the Adoption Act to enable the Secretary of the Department of Justice and Community Safety to disclose adoption information to other organisations that require access. This amendment is necessary to allow a forced adoption redress scheme to be implemented in line with the Recommendation 18.
I would certainly like to acknowledge the advocacy of Vanish in this space, who have put forward the case supporting the introduction of integrated birth certificates for many years, and I know that many of those representatives are pleased to see that finally happen, and I think may be here today. So thank you again for your continued efforts in a really difficult space, and hopefully this is a proud day for your organisation and what you have achieved.